Our nation is back, bigger, better, richer, and stronger than ever before. I used these tariffs, took in hundreds of billions of dollars to make great deals for our country, both economically and on a national security basis. Almost all countries and corporations want to keep the deal that they already made, right, Scott? Knowing that the legal power that I, as president, have to make a new deal could be far worse for them, and therefore they will continue to work along the same successful path that we had negotiated before the Supreme Court's unfortunate involvement.
Roz, it was so fascinating watching this 1 hour, 47-minute speech. Did the president have any clear domestic messages to the American people? Anything about new policies or new ideas?
Well, not a lot of new policies, but certainly a lot of messaging. As you were saying, this was very much targeted in that very lengthy State of the Union speech at the US voter. And that's with one eye on the fact that the US midterms are really getting closer and closer in the window for him. And he's really wanting to assure US voters that he's doing what he needs to on the economy, that their lives are better. Inflation is behaving, jobs are there, prices are coming down of essential goods. And all of that. And so he's really trying to reinforce that message around affordability. So there was a lot of pep rally type commentary from Donald Trump, a lot of criticism of the Democrats, but not a lot of fresh policies. There were a few nuggets, a bit around getting tech companies to build power plants, for example. The idea is therefore that power prices for everybody might go down, because that's a real concern of US voters, is rising electricity prices. So that there was that. There was a promise that the US government would top up non-employer 401ks to the tune of $1,000 a year, although it's unclear exactly also how that would work. But broadly, it was just about the messaging more than new policy announcements and new promises on the economy. As you were saying, that kind of brash commentary about the US being better, bolder, braver under his watch, and certainly trying to, reassure voters that their lives in particular are going to be better.
Yeah, definitely trying to inject some enthusiasm now. Of course, many of these are live issues. Obviously, the tariffs seem to be changing day by day. And also, Iran. What do we learn on the president's plans for trade, foreign policy and more?
Well, a sense of defiance on trade, but really, again, nothing new, which was quite similar across his entire speech, was, lamenting the Supreme Court's decision in front of some of the Supreme justices who were sitting there listening to his words. But, again, pushing on with the idea that he's going to use investigations and other mechanisms to try and rebuild some of his tariff regime, that he will come back with other mechanisms to inflict tariffs on other countries, and warning countries don't walk away from the trade deals that we've built, because what could come next could be worse. And that's in line with his messaging in the aftermath of that court ruling. And so, again, geared towards the US voter, saying these tariffs have helped you, although, as we know, tariffs generally get borne by importers and passed on to consumers and not ending up in government coffers. And again, foreign policy was a smaller part of his speech, which was obviously by design, and the main messaging around that was, again, to say to US people, the US is stronger around the world. We're using prosperity through peace around the world, touting the conflicts that he says he's ended, saying we're making the world a safer place for Americans. So there wasn't a lot of fresh policy on the foreign side. There was, interestingly, though, no mention really in his speech of China, the second biggest economy on the planet, and whose leader he's going to be meeting in March. No mention really of China in the speech, which was quite interesting.